Welcome to the social media marketing update for May. We've got some fantastic updates to tell you about today to keep you up to speed in the world of social media marketing. Without further ado, let's have a look at some of our chosen updates for this month, which are LinkedIn document posts being the top performing posts. We've got a lot of questions about Reddit this year so far, so we'll be giving you some of our top tips for whether or not your business should be using Reddit. We're going to look at some of the Instagram algorithm changes. And actually, just yesterday, there was a massive update on Instagram where they're calling it the purge of 2026. So I'll explain a little bit more about what happened there. But a lot of people are complaining that they've lost followers over the last couple of days. So I'll explain a bit more about that, as well as the latest algorithm updates on Instagram. There's lots going on in the world of Reels, particularly editing. So I'm going to be covering off some of the new features in the Reels editing app and tell you a bit more about that and how we use it. I also wanted to talk about the new ability to edit comments too on Instagram. If you're running Meta ads, then things just got a little bit simpler in terms of tracking, which is good news for all. I also wanted to discuss the latest TikTok SEO update, where adding more keywords to your content is now available for additional reach and discoverability, which is a massive part of growing on TikTok. And then finally, we'll take a look at a new feature on LinkedIn regarding comment filters and verified users. So, as always, lots to get into. So, let's crack on. A new benchmark data study has come out recently from Social Insider. They're a great resource to go and have a look at for all of your engagement benchmarking stats. And they've been analyzing LinkedIn posts and found that the trend of document posts, or some people call these carousels on LinkedIn, are the best performing types of post for engagement. So, native document posts, and I'll explain a little bit more about what that means in a second, are the highest generator of engagement on LinkedIn at the moment. So, if you've been thinking about your LinkedIn strategy, maybe you're looking to increase your engagement on the platform this year, then give native documents a try. So these are the carousel posts that we see where you can scroll through different slides, and you do need to upload these to LinkedIn natively within the platform. You can also schedule these too using some of the traditional scheduling tools such as Hootsuite. And these are available if you use a PDF format as a document. These perform so much better than a single image or even a video post at the moment on the platform. So you can see it goes native document, then a multi-image post. That's the one where you can click through a photo album of different posts, different photos, then video, then single image, then text only, then poll, and then finally a link is the least performing post type in terms of engagement. So that's really interesting because I would say the majority of what I see on LinkedIn is link posts. So give native documents a try. They can be a fantastic way to educate your audience, like in this first example here from the RSPB. So if you've got a lot of information that you're trying to get across to your audience, then you can break that down with some really well designed slides. You can design these easily in Canva, and then you can download that as a PDF and upload it to LinkedIn. If you are creating an educational slideshow like this, or I should say document post like this, then I would recommend doing this using a eye-catching or hook-worthy statement to begin with to get people to scroll through those later slides. We thought this example in the middle here from one of my favorite companies, Pip and Nut, because I'm a huge peanut butter fan, We thought this was a great example as a job advertisement. So, this is actually something very different to what you normally see on LinkedIn. I love the fact that they've got things like a day in the life in here, they've got team quotes, they've got stats, they've got key kind of skills that are required. So, lots of useful information within this particular job advert. And then finally, one of our lovely clients, the EBU, are using a document post as a way to showcase some high quality photos from an event that they recently hosted. So that's a different way to showcase the images of what happened on the day rather than that multi-image. And you might want to trial that versus a multi-image and see which one works best for your audience. LinkedIn is currently testing a bit of a new look for these document posts as well. So we've spotted this test on both mobile and desktop. So you'll notice here that the carousels are rendering much smaller than they were before. And actually, what that's done here is on the desktop version, it's made the text really difficult to read. So this is actually a post that Canva put together, and it's really hard to read that bottom sentence on that graphic there. So you would need to click into it to see the full size view and to be able to read the content. So that's something really important to bear in mind with document posts is, have you got any text on there and is it viewable? Is it readable? Now, from what we can gather, this is a test at the moment. I'm still seeing the old ones, but the Avocado Social team are seeing the new design over on the right. So I've still got the very large document posts in my LinkedIn feed, but Sarah, my colleague, has got these much smaller ones on the right. So it looks like this is a test at the moment. We don't know whether it's going to be fully rolled out. But I think that's just an important point to think about because, as we can see over on the right, a lot of that text is actually really difficult to read. So I have noticed a lot of techniques where brands are going much bigger and much bolder with their text on these document posts. I wonder if any of you have seen this change rolling out on LinkedIn or whether you're part of the test. Let us know and let us know what you think about this new size of document posts. So this year, 2026, everyone seems to be talking about Reddit. Reddit are absolutely smashing it in terms of their results. They've just launched their first quarter results, and the performance is very strong. They've increased their daily active unique users by 17% year on year to 126.8 million. Their weekly active uniques have increased by 23%, and their revenue has grown by 69% year on year. So they're seeing a lot more advertisers on the platform. So we this year have had lots of questions from our clients. Should I be using Reddit? Is Reddit something we should be considering as part of our strategy? How do you use Reddit? What are the risks? And should we be advertising there? So those are just some of the questions that our members are asking us on our consultancy calls, or we are being asked about on our free workshops as well. Now, Reddit this week has actually published a really useful SME guide. We're going to be sharing the link to this guide in the chat, so look out for that post in just a few moments' time. But this guide highlights how businesses can leverage Reddit's massive user base to drive growth. I think one of the main reasons why people are so interested in Reddit all of a sudden isn't because it's a new platform, it's been around for years and years, but because of the impact it now has on LLMs like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini. They are all highly sourcing Reddit as part of their results. And this was one of the big trends that we predicted we'd see this year is an increase in interest for Reddit. Reddit has been portrayed as a hub for more niche communities where brands can connect with people through very specific interest groups like nostalgia, luxury goods, education, tips and advice around certain topics. And actually, this guide goes into some of the key trends and advertising tips for small businesses on Reddit. So, what I always encourage you to do as a very first port of call is to actually just spend some time listening on the platform. So, if you're not sure if Reddit is for you as a business, just spend some time there. Get to know what conversations exist around your industry, who the big kind of contributors are as well, whether it's the same people. As we can see here in this document that Reddit have put together, users do tend to focus a lot on maybe hospitality recommendations as well. So there's lots of groups or subreddits, they're called, set up around places to eat, places to drink, local business areas. People are tending to, yeah, focus in on buying local as well. There's a lot of trends like nostalgia hunters. So people are actively seeking out nostalgic conversations, cultural moments, anything that's kind of happened in the past. They're saying, like, oh, does anyone remember this? Does anyone remember that? So that's a big trend. And actually, I noticed in the report they mentioned that there was a big subreddit for Polly Pocket users, for example. So, nostalgia around things like old toys or things that they want to be brought back. Last night, I went down a Reddit rabbit hole around the TV series Scrubs, which has recently been brought back because I was a big fan back in the day. So I was using Reddit to kind of see what people thought of the new series and whether it was worth watching. Also, shoppers look to subreddits to crowdsource and validate their next high quality splurge or daily upgrade. So, a lot of people will jump onto Reddit to find out more about a product and whether it's worth the price, whether people recommend it as well. So, this could be a way that you use maybe ads on Reddit to showcase your product and its benefits using carousel formats. So you can actually choose where your ads do appear on Reddit in terms of interest groups that you're targeting. Also, there's a lot of knowledge seekers on Reddit too. So people are using Reddit as a bit of a classroom to find advice, share tips, upskill. So there may well be conversations happening around kind of information around your product or industry as well. And that's something we really recently did for Avocado Social. We were using Reddit to find out what kind of social media marketing advice, courses, and webinars were being recommended on the platform. There's also quite a few people who are organizing events, sharing interest and local knowledge within their neighborhoods. And then finally, a lot of people who want in-depth insights and unfiltered feedback before making any purchase decisions as well. So there's lots of opportunity for a really wide range of organizations to be utilizing Reddit. But as I said, a really good place to start is actually just to have a profile and to start doing some social listening. In fact, our top tips for Reddit are to search to see what conversations exist about your brand, but also your industry as well. Have a look to see if there are any conversations worth jumping into, either under a brand account or maybe a representative of your brand. So, a personal user who's been set up as an opportunity to showcase and advocate your brand. Also, do have a look to see if there are any subreddits, so these groups of people, these forums which exist where you could be getting involved in conversation. So, for example, in the UK, there is a big subreddit called UK Travel. And within that, there's lots of travel tips, conversations about where to go, where to stay, kind of what to do in local areas. And so that's a huge opportunity for many hospitality businesses to get involved in. And are there any Reddit influencers who can offer a little bit of, you could offer a bit of a contra deal with in return for some Reddit conversation and discussion, which would, of course, need to be fully disclosed if it is an ad. So, those are just some of the questions I would start with for getting started on Reddit. They have also recently launched a new integration with HubSpot, which means you can create and schedule posts on your Reddit profile or to specific communities directly from HubSpot's social tool. So, this is an indicator that this is also something that I'm sure many of the other social media scheduling tools like Sprout or Hootsuite will begin to look into as well. Usually, it starts with somebody like HubSpot and then that's rolled out. You can also monitor Reddit using HubSpot so you can track how your brand, products, and competitors are all being discussed on Reddit. And you can directly engage and respond to Reddit threads from your HubSpot social inbox as well. There's also performance tracking too. So if you're a HubSpot user, then it's certainly worth considering whether or not you need to get Reddit hooked into your HubSpot social inbox. And I'm sure we're going to see more of those third-party tools embrace Reddit as part of their offering as well. This was an example that caught our attention this week. This was shared by a social media commentator called Leah Haberman on a recent LinkedIn newsletter. And the LinkedIn newsletter is called In Case You Missed It. Sarah will drop the link to the chat to this article that we spotted. But this was a really interesting case of how the airline United are using Reddit not to post, but to gain insight and feedback from their customers. The United Airlines team came across a post from a father whose son had lost his Pokemon card binder. Rather than leaving a sympathetic comment and moving on, the United team decided to share the story internally, and employees around the world responded and donated more than 17,000 Pokemon cards to replace what the boy had lost. Let's take a quick look at this story, which was shared across social media recently.
You recently lost your collection of Pokemon cards. All of us United were able to come together, donate a few cards, and we'd like to help you start a new collection.
Thank you so much. Is this the best day of your life, Reed? Yes.
Reed had misplaced his binder full of beloved Pokemon cards.
These cards were his life. We were on a United plane when we realized we didn't have them on us, and so there wasn't a whole lot we could do. We were heartbroken.
I posted something to an online forum seeking assistance looking for the cards in the airport. The way that the airline community rallied was just astounding.
When a child loses something special to them, it can really make or break their spirit. So I just thought I'd go home and ask my boys, like, hey, there was a boy who lost his cards. Would you like to give? And they said yes.
Whoa!
You know what? This is just one binder, and we got a couple more binders for you too.
It's more than 15,000.
What?
What a fab story. I love those good news stories that are shared across socials. So, what a brilliant example of a way in which Reddit can be used not to post kind of your standard social media content that you're posting on other platforms, but to really understand insight or feedback from your customers or to help a particular case as well. So, definitely thinking about Reddit slightly more outside the box. Now, if you work for a hospitality brand, if you're a hospitality marketer, then we actually have Reddit coming to an upcoming event that we're hosting in London. This is a day-long boot camp that we're hosting with our friend Mark McCulloch, MBE, where hospitality marketers can finally get the answers they've been searching for regarding social strategies, shortcuts, and creative ideas. So we have Reddit speaking. They're going to be sharing a strategic playbook for modern marketers, and they're going to be discussing how hospitality brands can really embrace Reddit for conversations, community, social listening, and strategy as well. So I'm really looking forward to that talk. Not only is Reddit speaking, myself and Mark have lots to share, and we also have TikTok speaking as well at the event. So it should be a great day. Give me a shout if you're interested in booking, and I'm sure I can wangle you a bit of discount on your tickets as well. So, Instagram has been revealing just a little bit more about how the algorithm is currently working. And with this, we've seen a massive update to its Insights interface with a cleaner, more streamlined design, making performance data much easier for creators to understand. So, take a look underneath some of your recent reels, and you'll find the brand new Insights interface. And within that, there are some new metrics that have been introduced, including some improved data presentation as well. And the new metrics, which are now front and center, include your share rate, your like rate, your save rate, your repost rate, and your comment rate. And these rates are specifically what affects and impacts your views. So Instagram is making a lot more kind of clear information about how to improve your performance. And so they are saying if you want more views on your reels, you really need to be focused on the rate in which people are doing these activities. Skip rate, I think, is a really clear indicator that those first few seconds of your video are the most important. If somebody skips past your video really quickly in the feed, that indicates to Instagram that this video isn't compelling, it's not high quality content, it's not interesting to the audience in which it's being served. And so this is going to tell the algorithm to show it to fewer people. So that's a really clear indicator that the first few seconds and how long you can retain a viewer for are the most important part of your video. It's also really interesting to see that shares, likes, and then saves and reposts all come before comments. I think a lot of us can get really bogged down if we're not seeing a huge amount of comments on our posts, particularly on our reels. And as we can see here, this is actually the least important factor that affects your views. In fact, shares and likes are much, much higher. So those are metrics that I would be really focused on with your content. How likely is your video to be shared? And how likely is your video to be liked as well? Your skip rate is the percentage of views from people who skip during the first 3 seconds of your reel. And as you can see here in this example, it is 38%. I actually took a look at some of our recent videos, and we were above the 50% for most of ours. So that definitely gives you a strategic kind of target to aim for in terms of making sure people aren't just skipping straight past your video. So think about things like your hook, your human element within that first few seconds of your video. Consider whether you need some text overlay to hook people in, or whether you need something really unusual or kind of eye-catching to happen in the first few seconds to stop people from skipping past. Of course, we know that shares and likes are incredibly important because people are much less likely to comment publicly on content now. But of course, saves and reposts are also important too. And so we shared this information on our Instagram this week. So if you want to save that or refer back to it, that is available for you. And of course, remember asking someone to send a video to a friend could be a much stronger call to action than asking someone to comment, given that we are finding people aren't commenting on as much content as they were in recent years, and also comments aren't as effective at building the views on your reels. Now, we've been playing around a lot recently with Instagram's Edits app, and this app recently celebrated its 1 year anniversary. So, Instagram launched this app a year ago. It's free to download, free to use, and it is that one step further than editing within the app. So, it just gives you a huge toolkit of different features to use, like filters, more sounds, more fonts. And it does enable you to edit just a slightly more advanced way with edits as well. So I'd definitely be considering using edits if you haven't already and get to know the app. Because as I said, it's free and can be a really, really great resource. They have actually added some more AI features within the app recently, aiming at making it even easier to generate and edit short form video content. And the video content you edit on Edits isn't just for Instagram, it can be downloaded and used on other platforms like TikTok as well or YouTube. Now, the update which we've spotted recently allows you to generate a video clip using AI, and it reduces the complexity of using AI assisted editing. It streamlines the prompts and automates more of the video creation process for you. And this is again a broader push from Meta at integrating more generative AI into its tools. So we are beginning to see yeah, just more pop-ups, more kind of easier ways of editing your video within the edits tool. This test is currently available in a wide range of countries: the US, Canada, Pakistan, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Uganda, Singapore, Zambia, New Zealand, Jamaica, Australia, not available in the UK yet. So keep an eye out for some of these new AI features. We're sure it's coming to UK pretty soon. So let's take a quick look at some more of these kind of AI features here in this video. So of course you can create a prompt. You can also upload some kind of images of what you want the video to look like or what you want it to be. And you can see there it works really, really quickly to generate exactly what you're trying to achieve. There's also some more app features that are coming soon, from saving your favorite video, effects, and color adjustments in a dedicated save tab so that you can keep coming back to it to create consistent color on your videos. You don't have to remember the exact adjustments you've made. You can create your own style. You can highlight specific words with text highlighting, adjusting them to be different sizes and colors, but a nice one to kind of build emphasis on certain elements in your video. You can find and replace captions really quickly now, which means if there's a repeated misspelt word throughout your video, you can update it really quickly. Also, there's more text customization. So there's just so many ways in which you can make the text look completely unique to your brand with things like outline width and line heights as well. So we've been testing it out a lot more recently and really enjoying it, but there's still a lot of features to come. There's still a lot that needs to be updated on the app. So they are consistently bringing out new updates. And if you're using edits, just always make sure you're using the most up-to-date version of the app. Now, every month at Avocado Social, we host an expert workshop, and this month we've decided to focus it on Reels. So we'll be running a Reels masterclass on the 21st of May. That's at 3 till 5 p.m. UK time. All of our members are able to access that class completely for free as part of your membership. But if you're not an Avocado Social member, you can sign up for that by using the QR code or just heading to the upcoming workshop section of our website, which we'll share a little bit later on as well. We're going to be looking at what's working well with Instagram Reels right now and why. Lots of examples for you. Simple filming and editing techniques all on your phone, some time-saving tools and apps that improve your video quality, and then how to use some of those enhanced features like voiceovers, text overlays, hooks, effects. And finally, we'll be touching on those new metrics as well. So I hope you can join us. An update which many of us have wanted to see for some time on Instagram is that they have now rolled out a feature that lets users edit their comments for up to 15 minutes after posting instead of having to delete it and repost. So if you quickly made a comment, you noticed there was a typo, or you'd made a mistake, or you'd said something wrong, you can very quickly hit the edit button just underneath your comment for 15 minutes. It will say edited in the note just next to the timestamp. So it will indicate that that comment had been edited, which will show to everybody. But it is a really, really useful feature because I don't know about you, but I'm always making little typos in my comments because I'm doing it so quickly. Although I would say that at least a typo shows that it wasn't just an AI or a bot comment. So that's a really useful update that we've seen. Now, I did mention earlier that we have seen a big update recently happen in the last few hours, actually, on Instagram, where people have been reporting a drop in followers. Have you been affected? It's thought to be, or it's rumored that this is a Meta kind of cleanup where they've removed a huge amount of bot and inactive profiles. So some organizations, influencers, creators, celebrities are actually saying that they've seen thousands of followers drop. We saw about 50 on our own account. So nothing kind of too major from our point of view, but this may well have affected your figures for May. So just make a note of that and make sure that when it comes to reporting this month, you do bear in mind that Meta did supposedly clear out a lot of users. Okay, if you've been advertising recently in Meta, then this is some good news that I'm very pleased to share. It can be a massive pain getting a Meta tracking pixel integrated into your website. You often need a developer to manually update that code into your website, or if your website changes at all, or you want to kind of change some major details in the way that it's built, then it is something that you have to kind of manually keep putting in. But now the Pixel is going to start using AI to automatically pull in key contacts directly from your website. So, particularly if you're an e-commerce company, you're selling products, you want to change things like product names, prices, availability, then the Meta Pixel now has the AI to be able to automatically handle that. I'm also really excited to share that the long and complicated side of tracking, which is the server side tracking using a tool called Conversions API, is incredibly complicated to set up. I've never been able to do it myself. I always need a developer's help. But actually, Meta are now bringing out a simple one-click conversion API setup, which means it takes just minutes to implement and requires absolutely zero tech skills and expertise, which is fantastic news. It means that we can all get much better data tracking without needing a dedicated development team to manage our code. And the richer information that Meta can get from our website and server means that it's able to deliver the ads it's running to the right people, improving your ad performance. So, Meta reports that advertisers who are using Conversions API are seeing an average of 17% lower cost per result. So, if you haven't got Conversions API set up, then the good news is that's going to be a lot simpler. If you haven't got Meta Pixel set up, again, that's going to be really vital to making sure that Meta has enough information about your business to track and target the right people. The ideal scenario is that you have both set up. And if you need any help with that, then do give us a shout. We'd love to help. We do actually have a Meta advertising class coming up next Tuesday. It's at 12 till 2 UK time. And in that, you're going to learn some of the most recent changes to Meta ads. They've changed the platform so it really focuses on AI now. AI is such a huge part of the success of your campaigns, and there's much more automative features that I'll be telling everybody about. We'll also be talking about a kind of move away from boosted posts, AI tools that you can use to help with your ad creative, and we'll cover the best practice of how to structure, schedule, and set up your campaigns. So do take a look at the Meta Ads course coming up next week. Again, if you're a member of Avocado Social, you can attend that for free as well. Now, we know that TikTok is a really important platform for social SEO and discoverability. TikTok has actually kind of listened to some of the suggestions that they've been getting to help creators to categorize their content better so that it can display really clearly in searches. And we know that young people tend to head to platforms like Instagram and TikTok more as their first point of call when they are searching for something, searching for ideas, products, inspiration. So TikTok has actually just announced that they're going to start rolling out a feature that will allow creators to add relevant keywords to their video metadata to improve discoverability. So this feature is designed to help better categorize content on the platform and to surface it to users based on their search intent and interests. So creators are going to be able to add keywords that they would like to associate with a post, a little bit like hashtags, but behind the scenes. And you can also block any keywords that you want to be excluded. They do have to be approved by TikTok first, but it gives you a bit more control on the search keywords on your videos. So, for example, if you created a wonderful review of an afternoon tea in London and you wanted to try and get as many people as possible to see that if they were searching for afternoon tea ideas in London, you could add the keywords afternoon tea or afternoon tea London to your video. So it's essentially the same practice as using hashtags, but it's behind the scenes so nobody can see that publicly displayed until they are approved by TikTok. Once approved by TikTok, they will kind of help your video to be shown when users have that intention to find that content. So if you have a look at this example here, you can see that next to the word search at the bottom, you can see the keywords in which this video is currently showing on or being optimized for. So at the moment, TikTok is adding a lot of these search keywords automatically using its AI. And actually, you'll notice on the example we have on the right-hand side here, the AI has not picked up the right hotel in the search there. So it's actually a different named hotel that it's picked up to the one that's being discussed in the video, which isn't great. And so as a user, you will eventually be able to determine what the search keywords are going to be. People have been trying to hack this system for a couple of years now, but this is the first time that TikTok has actually officially allowed you to categorize a video based on keywords. Now, this is all part of TikTok's move to enhance its search and recommendation systems, giving creators to start with, but hopefully more users, businesses, etc., more control over how their content is indexed. Let's take a look at some brands that are actually absolutely nailing their SEO strategy on TikTok at the moment, because TikTok has become such an important place to embrace keywords and hashtags. And the brands that understand TikTok SEO are the ones that are generating the most views and engagement at the moment. So these are three brands that we thought were doing a really good job of TikTok SEO, starting with Foot Locker, who this week launched their TikTok shop for the first time. They really understand the fact that a lot of, the trainer community and sneaker lovers do search for product names and brands. So every single video that they create has very clear keywords and hashtags within the caption. The Ordinary, the beauty brand, know that a lot of people will be searching for specific ingredients. They're all about the ingredients that are going into the products and they put them front and center on the packaging. So therefore, those ingredients are also front and center in terms of the hashtags and keywords used in the captions. And finally, we've always been big fans of Bills and we like to see what they're doing on TikTok too. This yummy burger you can see here has all the ingredients within the caption here, and they have actually used a TikTok influencer and chef Poppy Cooks as the collaborator here who has created this recipe, which they're calling Poppy's Burger. And they've also got some of the other ingredients like tater tots, which are a big part of this meal in the caption too. So don't just post a couple of words for your caption in TikTok. It is really important to make sure you're getting the most important keywords that you think users might be searching for into that caption, into the hashtags, and eventually when it's available into those search keywords as well. So LinkedIn has introduced a new option that allows users to filter post replies so they can prioritize comments from verified users. So when you are reorganizing the comments that you see on a post, you can actually, instead of flipping between most recent and most relevant, you will soon have the ability to surface more credible responses by looking at which commenters have verifications. So this is part of their aim to improve the quality and trustworthiness of engagement. And they've been working on enhancing conversation quality for quite some time this year. There was a big story that we spoke about in our March update where they were cracking down on engagement pods, bot comments, and kind of moving anything that looked too automated from the most relevant comments section. So users would have to really go looking for all comments before they could find some of those less credible comments and discussions. And now we actually have the option of being able to find those credible responses within a couple of clicks of the button. So this is, I think, a really good move. It again signifies the importance of becoming verified on the platform and also your comment strategy as well. So commenting on other people's posts in LinkedIn is a really good strategy for growth, particularly if you're looking to position yourself or a colleague as a thought leader. So again, I would recommend going down the route of getting verified so that if you are commenting, your posts, your comments will now show in that verified comments filter. If you are verified, you'll get this little kind of tick shield on your profile, which is the verified badge on LinkedIn. And it's a fairly straightforward process to get verified on LinkedIn. You just use your government ID. So it does say that verified members get 60% more profile views. So if you're not already verified, you can do that by uploading your ID and verifying that with a third-party tool called Persona, which LinkedIn uses just to kind of collect that data. So obviously that's a personal choice, but it does improve the kind of visibility of your profile if you do that. And you can do that within your settings. So you can see here just a few kind of profiles here, which you can see a lot of those are verified. In fact, all of those are verified. So you can see all of them are verified in terms of workplace, but just two of them, I think one of them actually, sorry, it has the identity verification and that's Verity in the middle there. Although, no, ignore me. I'm talking rubbish there. All of these profiles are verified because you've got the shield tick on them. Now, this again is another move for LinkedIn just to signify how important employee advocacy is. And so if you are going down an employee advocacy route this year and are looking to get your workforce using LinkedIn more actively, then asking them to verify themselves is an important step. Okay, we have come to the end of our individual updates for May, but let's now take a chance to look at some campaigns and trends that have caught our eyes so far this month. Let's start with the millennial PR team versus the Gen Z social team. So this is a trend that we spotted, which has been doing the rounds on Instagram. And you can see here, the idea is that you choose a post and write some copy that maybe your millennial PR team would have would have said kind of back in the day, that more traditional marketing tone of voice versus what your Gen Z social team would say now to promote the same thing. And so, really great to see a lot of brands embracing that, including one of our clients, the London Craft Beer Festival here in the middle. So, that's quite a fun trend that you can utilize just for that extra visibility and engagement. Of course, the Met Gala, which happened earlier this week, was a massive trend in social media, as it always is. But we particularly liked HubSpot's B2B take on this more traditionally kind of fashion event. And so you can see here that they updated a document post using the caption Corporate Couture Core, and they screen grabbed some of the kind of most interesting outfits from this year's fashion gala and caption those with some very kind of relatable office workplace digital marketing quotes there. So some brilliant memes. And I must say that that post had me laughing out loud. Another one that caught our eye this week, we're big fans of the brand Moth cocktails, Moth drinks, and also Yo Sushi. And so great to see them collaborating with this amazing ASMR style post. Let's take a quick look. So a lot of people commenting on that saying, oh my God, that tin is so cute. Where can I get the tin? Is the tin for sale? So I will be interested to see if they start selling that tin, because I don't think the intention was to actually sell the tin in the first place, but we'll see what happens.